the heart of what we talk is just how unique.
Yes, hello.
Entrepreneurship. Sometimes I think get so bogged down with being in an office space and doing all of that. Don't pay enough to the crafts as well. It's incredible the sort of panel that we have today, and I can't wait to hear from them, for them to share, their views and opinions. I said the topic they can be harnessed. I think let's
Yes.
Prestigekente. In 2 minutes, if you can just introduce yourself before we delve into the conversation.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm honored to be part of this panel to speak to, I take it as speaking about my journey in the craft space. I am the CEO of Prestigekente, as Philip rightly mentioned. And yes, I started Prestigekente with it was a passion project that was meant to support or give global market access to my youth, my people in the village. And entering into it, I saw the opportunity to extend this to other communities in the Volta region. So yes, and this is how far we've come. Currently, we have about 20,000 followers on our social media handles, which is making a lot of impact in the lives of these underprivileged youths. Yeah.
That's incredible. You came quite early. If you could yourself before we get the conversation started. So, Leeni, can you hear me?
I cannot hear you very well. You sound very distant, but I believe it's my turn.
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, sorry about that. So first of all, thanks for having me. Congratulations to Ambitious Africa and also to Ambitious Ghana for existing and organizing this wonderful event. I actually managed to be as a listener for a brief while of the Finnish government's Africa strategy talk just before we started, and both the foreign minister Pekka Haavisto and also our trade minister Ville Skinnari mentioned Ambitious Africa and how great of an initiative it is. So that was broadcasted to a lot of people out there on their official speech. So that was definitely a very good thing for us as a community. So well done. About craftpreneurship, I'm glad to be involved. I'm actually the founder of both Ghana Contemporary and No2malaria, which I'm probably going to concentrate a little bit more on No2malaria, on the sort of craft side of things. It is a spin-off or project, a social enterprise that I started after having run Ghana Contemporary for a few years. So it is, as Jennifer briefed you a little bit before, basically a bead project. We do bracelets out of recycled beads with the local artisans in Ghana, and I designed them together with the artisans, and then we sell them and we give back in terms of mosquito nets in the rural areas. So that's the concept of it. I think maybe my 2 minutes is up, but more to come. So moving on. Thanks.
Yes.
Hello.
Sorry. I think you couldn't hear me for a second. I was just saying that just to start off with, if you could tell us, like you were saying earlier, if you just tell us about your journey along the craftpreneurship concept, basically, and how you have where you come from and how you got here, and just tell us about that journey for us. We sort of have a bit of a perspective about where the conversation, please.
Sure. So I think sometime in 2018, 2017, I actually accompanied my husband, who was my husband Tawia, to chair my village festival. Actually, we have a Kente center in my village. Unfortunately, there isn't much going on in that area because of, poverty and, inadequate education, all of the things that we already know about. And so some of the youth who are mainly in the, Accra areas, in the urban areas, decided to come together to see how we could actually leverage on our network and on our expertise to enhance and to development in our village. So we thought to launch a festival, and then my husband was, because of his influence, we thought we should use ARAM to actually help with the festival. And it was at that festival that I realized that we actually had a gem in the village, and yet there was nothing to show for it. The youth are not able to even harness this gem or this gold mine, that's how I call it, for their own socio-economic development. So I decided that, it was there that I got the idea to actually tap into my network for their benefit. So I decided to start Prestigekente to market the kente that my own people are weaving and give back to them, about 60% of whatever earnings from the kente sold goes back to the weavers, so they are able to support themselves mainly through school. So this has been the drive. This has been it was just a passion like that, So I spoke to a few of my friends that, hey, we have this center in my village, and if you need kente, I know that we had this impression that the best kente was moving in the Ashanti region and stuff. But then I managed to convince them that, look, we have good kente coming from the Volta region as well. So you might as well want to give me a try. Knowing how professional I was and everything, they gave me a try. So I had two friends try me for the first time. And because I didn't have capital to start on the go, I decided I was going to remain an online shop and also use the pre-order model, just so people pre-finance their orders, and then I give it to the weavers. They start to weave. Once you complete and your work is up to the standard that I want, I give it to the customer. You get the customer pays the rest. I give it back. I give you what is remaining of your order. So that is how we started. So the first two people ordered. They loved what they got. They spoke to their friends spoke to their friends, their friends spoke to their friends. And of course, we've had to work, assiduously, because we wanted to make a lot of impact. And we'll see that as we've had some partnerships, we've had some good platforms, like we've had the privilege of showcasing, our products being used by top fashion houses in Ghana, top fashion houses who have used our kente, and it's gone viral on social media, and all of that has given us a bit of exposure. And for me, that exposure, I'm seeing it in returns and in the impact that is making in the lives of these weavers. So since 2018 that we started, we have one of our weavers who had dropped out of, after secondary school, could not continue for about 2 years before meeting me, and now he's in second year in the tertiary institution. And there are several others who have also started, their education one way, they picked up on the education again due to the income that they're able to earn. They're able to self-sponsor themselves through school. So yeah, this is what we are doing, and we are really, really proud to continue on this journey I'll share more later.
Definitely, and we're grateful. I'll be coming to you a little later about,
Sorry.
you know, if you can hear, can you also walk us through what your journey in craftpreneur, industry been like, and what some of the lessons you've picked up along have been?
Yes, of course. Thanks for that. And Alma, I have to comment on the kente from the Volta region. I think the Ewe people make a really beautiful kente. I've actually used your type of kente as well in my pouches, because I also made a pouch for all the bracelets that I made with the bead makers. So I found some really beautiful colors, and it's the material is a bit finer and the colors are a bit more pastel-y rather than the Ashanti kente, but both are good. I just needed to comment on that. Your product is beautiful. My journey started probably from London when I went to university to study history of art, and then I concentrated on emerging markets and art from basically Middle East and Africa. And then shortly after my studies finished, I got in at Villa Caro in Benin. This is a Finnish African cultural center, probably more known to Finnish people rather than Ghanaians, but just almost next door to Ghana. So I spent 3 months in Benin discovering the local art scene. So I traveled to Nigeria, to Ghana, to Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Mali. I was in Timbuktu at the library researching about the old texts of Quran. So I really looked into everything, but it was absolutely fascinating. Went to artist studios. I went to markets, from the Voodoo market in Lomé to Abdullah Konate's studio in Mali, in Bamako, which, by the way, he just opened a show in the gallery 1957 in Kempinski Hotel, Accra, with absolutely massive works that are fit to put in the walls of Tate Modern. So this is it was an interesting journey. So that's when the sort of love affair with African art really started, and I moved on to live in Ghana. As of 2012 and 2013, I started set up Ghana Contemporary, which was mainly to promote Ghanaian up-and-coming Ghanaian artists in Ghana and abroad, but mainly in Ghana, because my idea was that the support needs to come from the ground, from within. Like, if you don't have local collectors of African art, or your nationality's art, then that let's say the organic art scene or the sustainable development of it cannot continue in the way that it's sort of healthy if you just have a few outside collectors. And this has been an interesting sort of trend, with African art being on everyone's lips at the moment, and it's going through a kind of a boom. I'm not sure it's still at a sustainable level, because I feel as if hello, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, I'm not sure if I lost you there for a bit, but I was saying that the people who are involved are promoting Ghanaian and African art abroad in a big scale at the moment, but I still feel as if there should be a bit more support in Ghana itself. Things are happening, Savannah Contemporary Art Center in Tamale. We have Ibrahim Mahama. We have everyone in his circle of sort of curators and / artists that are supporting the sort of continuation of the right development. So we're good in that sense. But moving on to No2malaria, actually, I had malaria myself, and I wanted to do something to help. I started researching about malaria in general and how it affects the people, and how many people get malaria a year, and it was a staggering amount of people in Ghana alone. So I thought that if I can do something, I want to help. And I it wasn't easy. Just like with Alma said, it takes a while, and I actually was. I had to interview a lot of people. I went to meet so many bead makers and so many artisans, and I wanted to find like a trustworthy partner. So I found a guy that was able to speak the local languages. He's a northerner. He's from Bolgatanga, where he's from, and he does beads with his cousins and brothers in the Koforidua region. So I eventually, after many months of searching and finding, I found the right kind of beads and the bead makers from a small mountain village that are hand painting these glass beads, and then I designed it together with this guy that I started working with, and I also set up an online shop and took pictures and everything. It was. I think Aaron was mentioning about the importance of branding when you guys first started this panel, or the opening remarks, when it comes to art and design and music and food and fashion and crafts in Ghana. The branding was essential for me, so I came up with the name No2malaria and called it N2M for short. And every little bracelet has a little Ghanaian gold-plated pendant that says N2M, so that should be recognizable. And I wanted to keep them in a way that it would also be recognizable as a product, although the designs were, each and every one of them were unique, because the beads are hand painted, so not one exists like the other. So that was the concept behind, or basically my story, how I ended up.
Thank you very much. I think Philip fell off.
There's been some connection challenges. I could hardly hear him throughout the whole panel. So
yes, I think he fell off finally, and it's not. I think it's kind of a widespread problem today. There's a lot of people expressing the same sentiment that their network is really bad. So
I don't know if it's because of the rains today.
Okay. Yeah, it causes those things. Well, so I think whilst we wait for Philip, he asked a little bit about your journey from the beginning. So maybe we can continue the discussion from there. And maybe if you can talk about some of the challenges that you've faced so far when you started your journey, and how maybe you overcame these challenges, that would be very interesting. So maybe we can start with Alma and continue the discussion.
Yeah, so one main challenge that I have been trying to, work around has been, working with artisans. And because of their level of education, and also you want them to produce, a very high standard quality product, and they just fail to understand what you actually mean by that. I mean, they are skilled at their work, very, very talented, but you just don't see, or they don't realize, or are not made to realize the value of the work that they do, or the importance of the work that you're doing. And I don't blame them. I think it's a cultural thing all over Ghana. And I mean, we just don't respect the vocational crafts, space, like, or people who are into that. But it's a very, skilled area that, like, you need, like, you need to be very creative. Like, you need to have a certain mind to be able to dwell, or to even make an impact, or, make meaningful income in that space. And so I don't blame them so much. So one thing that and for me, that is why it's important that whatever revenues we make, a chunk of the amount goes to them, so that they can go to school. I encourage them to go to school. Like, everybody, I'm on everybody's back. Everybody that's, like, my employee, you need to have a goal. You need to improve some way, somehow, not just, like, in the working, but, like, self-development is one key thing that I'm, pushing into, like, driving and using to drive the team to actually be able to produce you know, to standard, like to where we are headed and where we want to get to. So yes, that's one challenge that I'll talk about. Maybe I'll let Leeni also talk about hers, and then we
Yeah.
can keep going.
Yeah.
So I don't talk about all.
Yeah.
I share the challenges that you mentioned when it comes to the artisans, and it's a shame that maybe on a general level that profession isn't so appreciated. Like I work with a lot of artists that are actually sort of like the ones that have made it in Ghana in the contemporary art scene, and they've come to me saying like, you know, I'm doing well and everything, but like still like their parents would be disappointed that they didn't go ahead and become a doctor or lawyer or a banker, that kind of thing. They're like, you know, this is a sort of a useless profession, and it's just like within the culture somehow still. And you know, but there's good that there are some rebels actually fighting against that and continuing doing what they're doing. My challenge, on the other hand, more so maybe than the producers or the craftsmen, people, women and men, would probably be the clients, because there isn't a, a solid understanding or appreciation or any patronizing for the arts sector. I mean, we can count with one hand's fingers the amount of actual proper collectors of African art in Ghana. Like even there are just one or two to that, and you know, even out of those ones, maybe they are not even Ghanaian. Like they could be maybe Lebanese or Indian living in Ghana, and obviously from generations. But you know, something is wrong when you have a wealthy person and they just don't put any respect to the arts, and they would rather any day of the week they would take a plasma screen TV or a new car or anything like a Louis Vuitton bag, rather than you know, investing their money into contemporary art or you know, any type of modern art in Ghana, and a proper painting. I'm generalizing a little bit, and I'm maybe just making a bit of a harsh example, but that's like generally the tendency that, you know, the twisting of the arm when I'm telling a client that this is someone that, you know, you should be buying now. Maybe, you know, even if I incentivize them that it will be worth 5 times that it's today in 5 years time or so, it doesn't really, you know, like it doesn't work. So it's been a lot of effort. That's why I sort of also shifted from Ghana Contemporary and promoting the visual artists and painters in Ghana more towards the more fast-moving goods, which were the bracelets, and were cheaper in price, and they were really appreciated also in Europe. They were easier to sell through my website and everything, and almost anyone from any age range could wear a bracelet that cost you know, 50 cedis or 20 euros or that kind of thing. So that was somehow easier for me. I found myself just, you know, not being able to find enough people to sell art, or you know, I got a little bit frustrated with that. But I think the tendency is changing a little bit. There are new players coming on board. I have noticed that some galleries are opening up, and even if they're not, there are attempts of cultivating the scene. And then, you know, that's it's good. I mean, Ghana poses some other type of challenges to people who would nevertheless want to do something with art, but you know, you can't put gallery up in you know, somewhere in the industrial site of Tema, because you know, the traffic alone takes you about, you know, 2 hours back and forth or one way to get there. And you know, even somewhere where you can reach a gallery space or where you would have people coming in, that those are astronomical in price in terms of rent and electricity and maintenance and all of that. So like, if you don't have people that are actively buying and supporting you, then what to do? I mean, you either go and do it in Europe, like some people have done, or then you don't do it at all, or you just diversify, do something a bit more, you know, cheaper, or something that doesn't require a space or that kind of thing. So it's hard, like in that sense. That's my criticism, but I guess that's not only in Ghana, that's all over the world. Having said that, if you go to Nigeria, it's a little bit more flourishing there. People are a bit more sort of active in that scene. I mean, they have a fully functioning auction house with amazing, like, you know, international style auctions and all of that. My background is in the auction house world with working with Christie's and Bonhams in London, so I know what it takes, and that's something that, you know, if it can be done there, it can be done in Ghana as well, although we're a smaller country. But, you know, we shouldn't, you know, discard that. And I think, you know, there's been Accra Art Fair just in the verge of when COVID properly hit, they managed to start the program. So let's see if that can be repeated next year without any restrictions. And that's also another good initiative that somehow goes hand in hand with the Ministry of Tourism's Year of Return agenda, which has been very supportive of everything happening in the cultural sector when it comes to parties, to food, to tourism, to hospitality, to arts and crafts, and that kind of thing. That program has really highlighted Ghana within like the diaspora and outside, and you know, sadly for everyone with COVID, we are not coming and flocking to Ghana as people were still about a year ago. But you know, we'll see. We'll get through that.
Leeni, if I may ask, how big is the appetite within Ghana for arts and crafts related, you know, pieces and things like that? How big is the market, and is there a hunger necessarily? If you haven't already addressed it.
There is hunger, but I think it's quite selective within like a certain group of people. I mean, you have the what's it called? Rosalia Dawson, the Hollywood actress. She set up the fashion boutique in somewhere in the corner of Osu, and she's been quite vocal about also. You know, telling the world of the creative side of Ghana into the world and all of that. And they are sort of in that network of people that are following I think the sort of like how to coordinate it and become like sustainable is something that is kind of missing. Everyone doing bits and bobs here and there, and maybe some pop-up events and things like that happen, but they kind of sort of die away. And that's why I'm calling out for the sustainability and like the continuation. It hasn't been easy for me either. Like I haven't actively been sustaining the operations of No2malaria at the moment because I had to leave the country because of COVID, and I haven't been able to be on the ground. So that's another, you know, issue. So we all, you know, have our challenges personally, and then also in the scene. But I would say it's an attractive field. Hello.
I think this network is bringing him back and forth. So yeah, Philip disappeared again. Yeah. So maybe Alma, if you have something else you want to highlight, I think we have. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Leeni has really mentioned, like, touch on very salient points. I mean, with regards to, like, you know, hunger within Ghana for the arts and crafts space, like she said, I mean, it's only within a few circles. It's like, you know, it's like some article of, you know, ostentation, something like for the rich, something that only the rich can afford. You know, even the makers themselves don't even enjoy their own kente. I mean, or enjoy their own craft or enjoy their own, you know, stuff like that. And it's especially when you want to place some value on the product or on, you know, the whole brand and everything around the craft. Most of the people that have patronized my brand and like understand are not, like, you know, from within. Most of them are from outside. They're from, maybe they're Ghanaians or, like, you know, Africans, but from abroad. Like, they understand, like, when you explain to them, they, you know, they understand the whole experience and the whole journey of making a custom kente. But I mean, Ghanaians come to you and they go like, and also because of, you know, this mindset, kiosk mentality, or, you know, ideas. Like, I see somebody making this, oh, let me also, and this person's going here and saying this, you know, let me also do the same thing. Like, everybody, you know, they see one venture, they think it's prospering, everybody wants to just copy. They don't, like, you know, they don't take the time to understand what it is, or even find themselves, or find where they can also play, you know. And then so they make, you know, all these fake less quality, substandard things, you know, and they are also playing in the same market as you. And some people don't even know, you know, someone might buy a kente from me and may think that it's very expensive, but they don't know, you know, the work I put into sourcing for yarns, the work I put into making sure that we are using the quality threads, the work I put into making sure that, look, you are wearing like, you know, very quality kente. Whereas some other person will just, you know, do anything and give to you. It's okay. So, but when you put when you put them side to side, side by side, you realize that no, this one is quality than the other. But it takes somebody who is like, you know, and like somebody who is creative and understands the creative space to be able to, you know, appreciate all of this. And so sometimes it hinders, you know, Lenny said, you may want to just, you know, travel outside and just go and do your business there rather than just stay here and, you know, go through all this like, you know, hustle and bustle of, you know, trying to make it, and it's like you're being pulled down, sort of, you know. Yeah, so it's not that easy. It's not, and also there's like, you know, lack of information, like, you know, around things. Like you have to dig, you have to incentivize people to get the information, because a lot of the things about our crafts and, you know, all of these are you know, crafts that we've inherited from our ancestors have not been documented. Even if they were documented by foreigners who may, in the course of reporting, they may have lost one or two, you know, salient things, you know, that are, you know, very like cultural, you know. And so sometimes even when you read them, like I have this kente book that I've been trying to, you know, figure out. Every time I open it, I just close it, like, because I cannot, you know, relate with it, you know, even though they are talking about something that has to do with my culture or it's just so hard, you know, sometimes. And so you want to get it from the individuals or the people who are still in the field and practicing it, and they can't even seem to tell you anything, right? Like it's so difficult to penetrate the market. You know, even in the first time when I was trying to source for yarns, I mean, I just went to this yarn shop and then I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to sample for, you know, some of like, you know, all the colors that you have. And then this yarn, like, and this is apparently this is like a factory where everybody goes for yarns or something. And then he's just looking at me, he's like, no, you can't do that. You can't take pictures. If you want to, you have to, you know, it's so difficult. So difficult, you know, penetrate some of these things and, you know, have your way around. But, you know, yes, that's where relationship and all of those things comes to play. And even like, you know, let's just collaborate somehow. You give me the yarns, I show to my customers that these are the colors that we have available. All of this is so difficult. And here's the case: if I get to be able to market to like thousands of people, it means like how many, like, and these are I'm going to probably empty your warehouse of yarns, for example, but they don't get it. So you have to now try to understand, explain to everybody. You know, that's just how difficult it's been. But it's been, I mean, with progress, we've made a lot of progress. We are getting there somehow.
So,
Yeah. And I think we need to do a lot of advocacy around these things so that like this craftpreneurship conference is a step in the right direction.
We have 4 minutes to go. I know, it's incredible. Just wanted to find out quickly, and I'll start off with you, Lenny. What is the role of technology in basically pushing the craft space and the work that you do? If you can just kindly give us some insights into that.
Well, I think we're witnessing having this deal room meeting here with everyone, although we are dropping out in and out a little bit, but that's kind of part of the game. At least we can get together, we can sort of share the thoughts and chat, and hopefully also details we can keep in touch. And maybe even Alma and I could easily go into collaboration from here onwards. I could get some pouches, Kente, from you to make my pouches. And you know, that already is a fruitful avenue. We tend to rely on like in web shops and sort of online shopping for our products, I believe, Alma, as well. So that is definitely something that enables that sort of transaction to be happening. The technology, I mean, social media has been paramount in terms of like me getting my message out there, my products visible. Technology I've needed in terms of taking quality pictures of my bracelets and you know, in that sense also branding them and being able to present them nicely. So, this is we are not living in a bush. We have to use technology. We wouldn't exist without it. And the other thing is communication. So those together, yeah.
Alma.
Yes. So I'll say technology has really helped me. That is what has propelled me, because in the beginning I said that I didn't have a shop. I don't have a shop up till now. I run mostly online, and for me, it's been social media all the way through. Like, everybody is on their phone. That's why I say everybody's on their phone every minute, every second. And so you can't. Now even I go to the art center a lot to work on my kente and stuff. And when I get there, I realize that, look, they are losing out, not because of anything. Like, now people are moving away from shops. People are moving away from all this, like, idea of I have to travel. COVID has really, sent us down so well. So you can't afford not to use technology to advance your business. Thanks to God, thankfully, Instagram is free, Facebook is free. Absolutely, I'm now building my website. I don't have a website. I don't have an e-commerce site yet, but a lot of the sales have come through social media marketing. So yes, use these tools, and talk to people. I've had to ask people questions, to help me. What somebody will say no, somebody will say yes. I just keep going, just keep moving, and then you realize that it will work for you.
Well, I guess at the base of it, it's just keeping it running, keeping it moving, looking for as many opportunities as possible. And it's very clear from what both of you have said. I had to exit and enter, and because I'm dealing with some data issues. But then at the base of it, it's very clear that at the heart of it, it's about you and how much you push the work and the art and the crafts. Because Leeni, like you're talking about, some people just might not appreciate it, and Alma, I'm sure it's the same for you as well, trying to educate people, trying to get people to understand the quality of the work that you do. And first of all, thank you so much, you guys, for all the knowledge shared. We have about 30 seconds to go, but I'd just like to say a big thank you for making time to share these bits of knowledge with us. We're going to move to the second panel, and thank you guys so much, and see ya.
Thank you for having me. It was lovely to be part of this. Hopefully we do it again soon.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.